Hey there, good morning everyone. Friday the 12th of January 2024. This morning's devotional is a reading from Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23, which reads, "Above all else, guard your heart, for it is the wellspring of life." We were created to be who God designed us to be, to love who God calls us to love, and to accomplish what God has set us to accomplish. That is the secret to a fruitful and fulfilled life with great relationships and a deep sense of purpose. Unfortunately, we all come across obstacles which can distract or even paralyze us from the great life that God has planned for us. Some of the most difficult obstacles to overcome are the inability to say no, to confront and establish consequences in relationships when you need to. There are a number of examples to this sort of problem. For example, a child who doesn't do their homework or clean up after themselves. A husband who controls his marriage by getting angry every time his spouse disagrees with him. An employee who is defensive about poor work performance and then becomes unconfrontable. Or even the boss who intimidates the employees by being critical of those who speak up about problems within the organization. These obstacles can drain your energy, get you off track, discourage you, and even damage you emotionally. Most of us know how this can feel, and it's not a good place to be. And so we come to that favorite word of mine, and I love this. Boundaries. I've actually got it written down here in big, bold letters, a bigger font than what I'm reading now. Boundaries are your personal property line, where you mark out where you end and where the other person begins. Think of it as a gate. They help you own your time, energy, resources, and money, and decide for yourself what to do with them. Boundaries help you determine when to say yes and how to say no. Yet so many people feel guilty about having boundaries. Yet without boundaries, when we get abused, we wonder, now what did I do wrong? Where did I go wrong? By having no boundaries. So the summary of the verse which you've just read, above all else, guard your heart, for it is the wellspring of life. And this is not directly in order, but they are more in linear form. So, for example, your heart. Your heart is the core of who you are. Your insides, literally the inner person. The word refers to all the contents that reside in your brain. That includes your values, thoughts, opinions, feelings, and decisions. If you've ever experienced losing heart, that's when you become discouraged or demotivated. It is because you have either allowed someone to take your time and energy, or because you allowed someone inside your heart who had no business being there, and the result was there was hurt and damage. Everything that flows from it. Why is your heart so important? Because your entire life's path depends on how healthy your heart is. All of your actions, how you treat yourself, how you engage in your relationships with God and others, and the impact you make in the world is directly as a result of what happens in your heart. Think of it from a health perspective. If you take care of your body, eat well, rest well, and do some exercise, you're likely to have a healthy body for a long time. But neglecting or abusing your body can result in sickness and dysfunction. Your heart is simply critical to living life in God's way. The important word is guard as well, which means literally to protect. Watch over your inner self and keep it from harm. God put that word guard in that specific place for a specific reason. That is the role of a boundary, whether it be the word no, a difficult confrontation, or some limit you need to set in a relationship. So often, People think that saying no and taking responsibility to guard yourself is selfish and all about me. It's not. But we have been entrusted with the task of guarding this most precious gift of God. I often tell people to change the S from selfishness to stewardship. After all, that's what Scripture teaches us. So, my dear friends, a mouthful this morning, some homework for the weekend, and as we approach the weekend, it is a time for reflection. Take the time, ask God to help you with this, just to see how strong your boundaries are. If they are weak, reinforce them, strengthen them. The only thing you stand to lose are those who continually disrespect your boundaries. May the Lord be with you. May He bless you. May He cause His face to shine upon you and be with you always. Goodbye.